A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark, chapter 8, verses 1 to 10. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. At about the same time, he again found himself with a hungry crowd on his hands. He called his disciples together and said, "This crowd is breaking my heart. They have stuck with me for 3 days, and now they have nothing to eat. If I send them home hungry, they'll faint along the way. Some of them have come a long distance." His disciples responded, "What do you expect us to do about it? Buy food out here in the desert?" He asked, "How much bread do you have?" 7 loaves, they said. So Jesus told the crowd to sit down on the ground. After giving thanks, he took the 7 bread loaves, broke them into pieces, and gave them to his disciples so that they could hand them out to the crowd. They also had a few fish. He pronounced a blessing over the fish and told his disciples to hand them out as well. The crowd ate its fill. 7 sacks of leftovers were collected. There were well over 4,000 at the meal. Then he sent them home. He himself went straight to the boat with his disciples and set out for Dalmanutha. The Gospel of the Lord.
Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 8, verses 1 to 10. Be protagonists of change. For a present-day reader of the Gospel, the behavior of these 4,000 people would seem absurd. They left their homes to follow a preacher, even ignoring their basic needs. They chose to remain close to Christ, and he was moved with pity because they were hungry. 2 miraculous feedings were mentioned in Mark within 3 chapters. The first one in chapter 6. In the first feeding, the crowd was mostly Jewish. There, Jesus was immersed in preaching, and the disciples alerted him to the physical needs of the people. But in the second, it was on the other side, populated mostly by pagans. Here it is Jesus who becomes concerned about people going hungry and alerts the disciples, who do not seem very much interested and bring up excuses. When it comes to being church, if we limit ourselves to ministering only to Christians, Jesus keeps shaking us awake to the everyday needs of those on the other side of the wall. For everyone matters. Jesus had the power to fix problems of hunger, but he didn't fix it himself, but invited disciples to be missionaries to feed the hungry. How many loaves do you have is the question. Today Jesus asks us as well, no matter how insignificant or little it is, what we have is enough for God, provided we are willing to share. In the Apostolic Exhortation, Christus Vivit, number 174, Pope Francis appeals to the youth of the world. Please do not leave it to others to be protagonists of change. You are the ones who hold the future. Jesus was not a bystander, he got involved. Don't stand aloof, but immerse yourself in the reality of life, as Jesus did. Fight for the common good, serve the poor, be protagonists of the revolution of charity and service, capable of resisting the pathologies of consumerism and superficial individualism.